Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving straight into the deep end today with some serious political drama going down right now as we speak. Yeah, buckle up, folks. So today's source material is coming straight from the front lines, a live news article covering the House Speaker vote happening at this very moment. Friday, January 3rd, 2025. Mark it in your calendars, folks. Yeah, because this one is for the history books. You got that right. And let me tell you, this is not your typical run-of-the-mill procedural vote. Oh, no, not at all. This one has the potential to shake things up in a big way, especially for the Republican Party. Exactly. I mean, we're talking about power dynamics, potential upsets, and yeah, the future of the country might just hinge on this vote. No pressure, not at all. So, to set the scene, we've got Mike Johnson, the current Speaker of the House, nominated by the Republicans for another term. Right. And facing off against him is Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic candidate. Now, this is where things get interesting. Republicans hold a slim majority in the House, 219 to 215, which means Johnson needs almost every single vote from his party to secure the win. Talk about a nail biter. And just to add another layer of intrigue to this already tense situation, enter former President Trump. Oh yeah, he couldn't resist jumping into the fray, could he? Nope, not a chance. He publicly endorsed Johnson just before the vote kicked off, framing this whole thing as a make or break moment for the Republican Party. And let's not forget the little tidbit where he tied this vote to his own legacy and the potential 2024 win. You know, just casually dropping that most consequential presidential election in 129 years line. Like, it's no big deal. Yeah. So we've got this incredibly tight race, the shadow of Trump looming large, and then boom, a potential rebellion within the Republican ranks. It wouldn't be a political deep dive without a little bit of rebellion now, would it? Never. So who are these rogue Republicans daring to defy the party line? Well, we know for sure that at least two Republicans, Thomas Massie and Ralph Norman, voted against Johnson. Hold on, so they actually voted against their own party's nominee. They did indeed. Massie went for Tom Emmer, and Norman cast his vote for Jim Jordan. Okay, so this isn't just a couple of guys abstaining or anything. They actively chose different candidates. Exactly. Which begs the question, are these just isolated incidents, or are we witnessing the cracks in a much larger fracture within the party? I mean, it's not exactly a secret that the Republican Party has had its fair share of internal struggles lately, right? Oh, absolutely. And this whole speaker vote situation feels eerily familiar, doesn't it? Now that you mention it, it does. Remember back in October 2023 when Kevin McCarthy was ousted from the speakership? How could we forget? That was political theater at its finest. And guess who stepped in to fill the void? Mike Johnson. Which means he's already had to navigate these treacherous waters once before. And let's not forget the absolute chaos that was McCarthy's initial election as Speaker back in January 2023. 15 ballots. Can you believe it? 15 ballots. You have to go back to the mid-1800s to find that level of gridlock in a Speaker election. It was historic in all the wrong ways. So the fact that Johnson, who is McCarthy's successor, is now facing a potential rebellion of his own, well, it's not exactly a vote of confidence in his leadership, is it? It definitely raises some eyebrows. And so let's play out both scenarios here. First, Johnson manages to pull off a win. What happens then? Well, even if he wins, the question is by how much? If he only gets a handful of votes above the bare minimum, he'll be operating from a position of weakness. Every single vote on every single piece of legislation will be a potential showdown. Basically, he'll be walking on eggshells constantly, looking over his shoulder for the next challenge. Exactly. And that kind of instability doesn't exactly make for effective governance, does it? So gridlock in the House, which means nothing gets done, which means the issues facing the country, the economy, healthcare, immigration, you name it, they all get put on hold while this political power struggle plays out. And the American people are the ones who end up paying the price. Okay, so that's scenario one. What about scenario two? Johnson loses the vote. Now that would be a real bombshell. It would likely trigger another round of voting, potentially even more chaotic and divisive than the last one. So basically, Groundhog Day, but for political dysfunction, pretty much. And beyond the immediate chaos, a loss for Johnson would expose the deep rifts within the Republican Party for everyone to see, making it even harder for them to present a united front on any issue. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck. And as if things weren't dramatic enough already, our live news article is telling us that the tension on the House floor is palpable. You can practically cut it with a knife. And folks, this is not just some abstract political game. This has real-world consequences. Exactly. This vote is going to shape the future of the Republican Party, the effectiveness of the House of Representatives, and ultimately the direction of American politics as a whole. It's a story that's still being written, but one thing is for sure: the implications of this vote, no matter who wins, will be felt for years to come. Well, there you have it, folks. We've taken you right to the heart of the action, give you a front row seat to this political drama as it unfolds. And remember, this is just the beginning. Keep your eyes glued to the news because this story is far from over. This deep dive has given you the context and the knowledge to understand the stakes, the players, and the potential consequences of this pivotal moment. So as the votes continue to be tallied, remember that this is more than just a political spectacle. It's a story that will shape the policies and decisions that affect our lives. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to break down the fallout from this historic speaker vote and explore what it means for the future of American politics. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay tuned. We'll see you next time.